see you guys, welcome back. Yeah, shit.
I was really excited to get back, and it was a short spurt, wasn't going to go for months, and really keen to get back and to do some fighting.
And everyone had stayed in training. No one had kind of let it go. Everyone knew that we were going to have to come back and be really fit for these pickups.
That was the real balls to the wall, hard yard stuff.
I felt like when Thorin was in fight mode that I really became the character, and I was kind of waiting for him to emerge onto the battlefield. But like the character, I was forced to wait for that moment.
Will you follow me one last time?
The intention at one stage was to create this armour, and that's what they would go into battle with at the end. We just thought that they should, within Erebor, they should adopt a much more regal attitude. I mean, Thorin's the king, but the others are knights, essentially, like King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. They're all his warrior knights. So we wanted to create that imagery.
The regal armour is an outstanding work of art. Fearsome and beautiful, just beautiful.
Richard Taylor and his genius crew from Weta came along with the armour, and boy, it looked good.
Your first impression when you see it is, that's an amazing work of art, really, that I get to wear. And then you put it on, you're like, I can't actually do anything.
Oh, it's just so comfortable. Wow, it's like pajamas.
I can't wait to move around and see, can I fight in this? Because it doesn't look, you know what I mean?
It was sort of difficult to move around with the cloak and everything, but I loved it so much. I remember a lot of people saying, well, we can lose it at this point if it makes it difficult to move. And I remember being adamant, no, I really want to wear this for as long as possible.
Clearly, we made the mistake of showing that we could cope with the heavy costume in film one. So that was almost like a gauntlet being thrown down to the costume department. After each fitting, they must have gone, I just had a fitting with Graham McTavish, and at the end of it, he was walking. Get back to the drawing board. I want to see that man crushed. So they decided to give Dwalin a light utility vehicle to wear.
If I fell over in this, that would be it. The rest of the dwarves would just be standing laughing at me.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I've disabled the cameraman.
Where someone like Stephen Hunter was kind of encased inside a tank.
Bomber's armour it's like a small boat, actually, that kind of goes around him.
Splendid.
Thank you. I feel sexy. It wasn't real armour, it was lightweight. But it wasn't lightweight.
Wait a bit, didn't it?
And the only way to rest when you're off set was to lie down in it, on a mat. And I just and fall asleep in it.
And of course, this was originally the armour that we were going to do the battle in.
I couldn't have fought in it. I couldn't have fought in it.
Whoa, no, you've got to laugh. It doesn't look restricted at all, does it? Yeah. That's it.
You couldn't actually lift a weapon. It'd be like trying to fight. You couldn't lift your arms above your head. No, I can't.
And it quickly became apparent that this was not going to be practical.
It was a great day on set when the decision came that the dwarves were going to shed their armour.
I understood that we needed to see our dwarves that we'd followed for the entire journey, and burying them in armour where you really only see this part of them was a little bit unsatisfying.
They knew that what they were going into when they left Erebor to join the battle was essentially a suicide mission. And so why do they need to wear all this protection? It's just going to slow them down.
You're going to go to your deaths, really. I mean, you want to. You'd rather go to your deaths than help your fellow dwarves and sit here like cowards.
If you decide to do this, understand, you may not return.
They just get rid of defense. They cast it aside so that they're light and they're able to move quickly and do what they need to do.
And they're going to throw off all this sort of pomp and ceremony, I suppose, and just make it more raw and gritty.
Get rid of that armour. Let's get down and dirty.
When we were told about this, casting off the armour for battle, from a design point of view, I worked closely with Bob Buck to create a stripped-back version, so they took off all the heavy components. The garments you see them wearing is actually what they're wearing underneath all the plate armour.
That's the stripped-down version is what they run out in, because that was a more practical way in which these guys could actually fight.
It's really light and I can fight in it, I think. So, yeah, it's a nice way to die in this.
Peter's rationale, and ultimately a very, very good one, is the dwarves going into war, their chests bared.
Lead on.
And there's something extraordinarily beautiful in that, and there's something very powerful in it.
You've got rid of all your armour. Richard Taylor's in tears over in the corner.
Yeah. Maybe he's wearing all the armour.
Well, he's wearing all of it. He's just put it all on.
You look at a still photo of those guys wearing that armour, and it's absolutely superb. It's as good as you could ever hope it to be. I mean, it was the greatest suits of armour ever made for a motion picture. It's not untrue.
But Pete has to make those hard decisions, because if it doesn't work for the story, then it doesn't work at all, and that's why these things get cut away, and the film's better for it.
I remember the day when we shot the scene where the dwarves emerge from the mountain.
We were very aware that this was a very iconic moment. Finally, the dwarves are going out there and delivering the first blows of the fight.
Pete had laid down this enormous kind of mud track in a soundstage. I remember kind of glancing over at Graham McTavish and Jed and all the other lads, and it was such a good feeling.
Richard said, I know that you've been waiting to do this scene for 2 years, and here we are. Let's get it done.
They were ready to run as well. They'd all been waiting for a moment like this where they could finally show some heroicism.
This is the moment we've been building up to. The 3 months that we did on boot camp, the training we did all the way through it, the fight training, the physical training with the stunt guys, all of that was focused in that one moment.
We've waited 2.5 years for this charge.
We have.
And I've just told Peter to close the dock doors because some of us are worried that we might just keep running and never come back.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
This is it.
There was goosebumps. Hairs on the back of my head were standing up. This is probably the most exciting day I've had in a long, long time. It's going to be awesome.
Here we go. Okay, guys, you're going to war. Let's hear the dwarf battle cry. Come on, wind yourselves up.
We'd all start doing the dwarf chant and pumping each other up.
It's a bit like doing the haka before a rugby game. That's what it felt like.
Here you go. 3, 2, 1, action. give me a sword and a shield.
Yeah, we lifted the roof off with our yell that morning. It was fantastic.
The thing you have to remember about film is it's forever. Once you've committed that to celluloid, that will last longer than you live. And you want to make sure that when it comes to the moment that it's being recorded, that you are giving every ounce of your energy and concentration into that moment. And that was a moment where we did that.
Great.
You know, the scene that we've been waiting 2 years to shoot. I think that was my stunt double. I can do it now if you like. So I charge at the camera. Ah!
When we leave Erebor and the wedge hits the orcs for the first time, we choreographed with all the fight guys and the stunt doubles a very intricate sequence.
It went from a V formation to a crisscross formation, and so to show that these guys knew each other so well, that they were a tactical fighting team.
It was a dance.
There's a rhythm to the way that the dwarves fight as a team.
Look, they're having a go at Philly and Killy.
Oh, I bet that hurt. Oh, look, there's Dwalin. Watch out! Oh, too late.
Maybe we should do some fighting.
Oh, come on in.
Marky Lee was Bomber's stuntman there, and he jumped in the air and double kicked a guy in the chest.
I'm kind of just breathing out as he lands on me. I feel like one of those cartoons that just flattens, and you got to pump me up.
Yeah, well, I think that sort of qualifies as a war crime.
It's all part of the job.
So, you know, we're doing our serious fight. This is the pinnacle of our boot camp training, and it's a very serious matter. And then the stunt guys come in, dressed like big cartoon characters from a theme park ride.
They looked hilarious, actually. The stunt team had helmets on with tall snorkels on the top.
Noodle high five.
High five? Snorkels.
And we put these noodles on their heads because that's the actual height of the orcs, because, of course, our guys are dwarves. And so, in relation to our dwarves, the orcs are going to be 7.5 foot tall.
That was to keep our eye lines up, because you want to look naturally at someone's eyes when you're doing the fight, but actually you had to raise it up.
Let's get ready, boys.